Ladies and gentlemen, YouTubers around the world, welcome back to another How to Play FFA. I'm your host, Nasty888, and today we're going to be learning how to play Japanese. If you haven't already, please hit that like and subscribe button. Do appreciate it. Now, Japanese, as I've mentioned before, it's a pretty good civ in FFA. It's we got a little water spawn here, looks like a little river, so that's always nice to see. Japanese, of course, has the cheaper fishing boats, 60 wood per, which makes them an exceptional civ to do a water eco with. Now, it looks like we're getting a little boxed in here in this situation. We've spawned here on wood because we want to, start harvesting wood right away to get on water. The problem with the spawn location we've selected is we don't know if there's gold nearby. Now you usually would, if you can, try to make sure that you do have the gold, but in this case I just wanted to throw something down by the river. Now it would ideally probably make more sense to put the town center like closer to the water for a lot of civs, because you want to protect your docks with the town center. But with Japanese, we really want to transition later in the game to farms around our town centers. So we are going to be upgrading our town center for protection purposes of our king and to survive. So we do want to make sure that we have some space around our town center in order to build farms for that transition later. So that's why we've selected this particular spot here. Now, let's go ahead, take a look at our map real quick, little sneak peek here. So we don't have any gold. You can see we're blocked and we got teal here blocking us on gold. We've got it up, we don't know it yet, but we have an opponent across the river who's going to be preventing us from taking these golds over here. So let's see what we can make happen here. First, we want to focus on getting some boats out though, right? Now, with Japanese, we did have a little issue here where we were alt-tabbed trying to check something, and we had a problem tabbing back into the game, so we almost lost our king, but fortunately for us, that didn't happen. It looks like a player has already surrendered. There's their king right in the middle. Anyways. How did I know that? Maybe I spotted it later. Alright, so what do we want to talk about? So you want to get your upgrades up. So Japanese has this interesting upgrade here. The tower, it's kind of like the wheelbarrow, but it's split up into multiple phases. And it's pretty cheap, as you can see, so you probably want to grab that right away. I think I forgot right now to get it, but you can just grab it right away if you don't have anything else to spend your gold on. But let's talk about, let's see, well first, okay, so this player here, Teal, has decided to build a tower and block us on water. Now I've grabbed 7 vills in my, I made a transfer boat actually pretty early because I've realized my situation, my goldless situation here. I've sent a scout up here and I found a gold that looks suitable for me that's not too close to any other player. So that is where my transfer boat is going right now. If you are wondering, we are looking for some gold. And we could even build the docks up here and collect all this, all these fish. So that's great. So we've kind of moved ourselves, positioned ourselves around Teal here, gotten past him, and now we're in the open, in the clear. We are probably going to want to get a outpost here to protect these, but we're going to get set up all nice here. Now, as for your age 2 landmarks, I can't click on them here, but I'm going to be doing the wrong landmark this game, so I just want to talk about it real quick. You always want to get, of course, your storehouse, get the farms. Even though I'm on water right now, these will always come into play later. We want to build it close to our town center that we're going to be upgrading so we can get the benefit of increased, resource yield. This one is more for fun, and I'm going to be building this game just because I noticed that Teal here has his outpost with the king in it, and I want to try something a little cheeky here. I'd attempt to take the king out maybe. So we're going to see what happens here with that. I haven't actually gotten it yet, but we're about to. We're about to, guys. So we see Teal has control here. He's denied us from the water up here, unfortunately, and Orange is going. His town center is kind of denying us from some of these, and we can imagine that he's going to have his own boats of his own. he doesn't actually, on this side at least. He's got a little pawn down here he's using. Now, we are kind of being denied on water, but look at this. I got another dock up here now, and we're gonna start pumping out boats to get all these nodes here, which is great. And this, you know, this tower isn't going to be doing much because our docks have an AoE healing on our boats. It's not going to be bothering us too much just yet, so we're fine there. Now we're going for the Coca Township, like I mentioned. Never do this, guys. This is just kind of a troll. These units aren't very good. They can, you know, interrupt your opponent's docks, which is one use for them if you want to shut down their dock production, which we could do. But this guy already has a bunch of boats out, so it's not really going to be doing too much here to do that. My interest more here was to try to use them to burn the outpost to you know, to pull the king out, and I'm also going to be needing stables to help allow me to do that, as well as maybe an attack boat here. But I think our opponent is going to be wise enough to evacuate his king soon. But he also, the bigger problem is he also made his own knights, and I'm just making a couple horsemen here. So because he made those knights, this is obviously not going to work at all. He's going to very easily clean up these shinobis with the knights, and he'll be able to evacuate here pretty soon. I think he's about to. He's trying to repair right now, but he does send the king out. He realizes there's a threat to the king, and he is wisely going to back off of this situation here. Now I'm going to be throwing out my own barracks to get my spearmen out because I can see my opponent's making knights. And this has really saved us up here. We've have this little outpost here. It's not as well protected as it could be. We could probably throw up like a tower over here maybe too, just to make sure this is extra safe. We can't really, the problem with it is we can't really reinforce it. We can't really add more bills here that easily. We could send a transfer boat back, but I don't want to remind Teal that I have this up here if he wasn't already aware. He might have missed it because I didn't, you know, I just sent my transport ship. I didn't really attack him or do anything with it. And so far, fortunately for us, he hasn't really been too aggressive on water. We are going to be able to now clean this up with what we've got here. Stop making shinobis, obviously, because they're not the best. They're more sabotaging buildings. We could sabotage the docks, of course, but that's really about all we can do with them. Now, green is pretty close to us up here, so hopefully he's not going to be too much of a threat from now, but so far so good. Unfortunately, well, fortunately, we got a really nice connection on Teal's boat, so we basically pushed him off water with that one detonation, which was great. And we're going to be completely pushing him off water by deleting his docks here, right? So things are looking good. I'm already feeling really good about that after that detonation. I realize my economy is going to far outpace Teal, and I should be able to clean him up eventually here. We have gone into our age 3. We're getting the floating gate. As far as the age 3 choice, we'll talk about that now. We've got, let me close the door here. Okay, so we've got Temple of Equality and Floating Gate, right? This one typically has always been the one to go to landmark just because the Yoshiro is really nice, but they have gotten some nerfs lately, especially on the forges, I think, when you get less gold now, I believe, when you put them in the forges. So that's not as valuable anymore. You can throw them in your production buildings for faster production. But the Temple of Equality, now this is an interesting one. I've used it from time to time. I definitely recommend using this if you're on Land Mega Random or you just know you're not going to have that much access to gold. You're going to run out of gold in the game. But since we're not on that, I mean, we are in a bad spot for gold right now. But I figure that once I get rid of Teal, my opponent, which I just have secured an access point to kill him by destroying his economy. I'm not going to go for this, but this is a way to get free passive gold throughout the game, obviously. And if it is pretty supply heavy, so it's not, basically I only recommend doing it if you're going to need the gold, if you're going to run out of gold, right? So since we're not too worried about that in this game, we didn't go for it. And also it's helpful, you really need extra population, right, to support this, because you're going to have a large chunk of your population tied up in these all these Buddhist monks. So Generally recommend this one, but for gold shortages, definitely go for the Temple of Equality if you can. It's definitely going to help you out in that regard. Now, back to the game. So one of our opponents, looks like there's only one sacred site on this map. They have taken the sacred site. So that's going to put us on a timer. We still have some time to deal with it yet so far, and we're going to be able to push teal out of here without any issue. We even saved our outpost and our vills here, which was great. Wiping out his final docks now, so he's going to have to do you know, farming, or he's going to have to gather, you know, food on land, which it looks like, you know, he's having to transition to now. Actually, I don't know where his food. Okay, he has got some sheep here. He went with the scout, got a bunch of sheep, but that's obviously not going to last forever. But we're already ready to pressure him. We're in age 3 with a bigger army than our opponent. Excuse me. So we're already getting ready. We probably want to make some battering rams here to push the town center, but we do have the wood to support that already, so we're going to be looking pretty good here. Now, we're going spear heavy. I was thinking of going into samurais here, but I figured he would transition off of knights, but he really didn't. He did make a few archers, so we're going to need, you know, we have our own horsemen to deal with there, which is perfect. But we're mostly focusing on spears right now. We've even got some upgrades on our town center for the bannermen. It's nice to get. I like to prioritize these upgrades typically when you can. You know, you're going to get some passive stone from mining gold, but if you can get on some stone early is nice if you're worried about your neighbors, like we should be here because we have neighbors all around us. Even though some of them are across the water, they're not as big of a threat. Looks like blue is going to pick up a kill on to orange here, so he's now. We now have to consider him a threat because, so that was fortunate for us that blue spawned here with orange, otherwise orange would probably be looking at us as well while we're fighting teal, so that worked out nicely. Now we're pushing into teal's base here with a few rams. You want at least, like, I would say 3 to 4 rams typically is going to be enough to break your opponent when you're pushing your opponent with a bigger army. That should be enough to quickly kill a town center. As you see here, our opponent just gives up, fortunately, and we're able to pick up the kill. So now we've got a kill. The only problem now is that we've got to contend with the sacred site, which the timer is going down, and green obviously is taking this seriously. He wants to hold the sacred site. But fortunately for us, we already have a pretty big army here. Our opponent's not, he doesn't have L's back yet, it looks like. He can't afford it quite yet. So he's not in age 4. We can definitely start getting ready to push here. And we probably want to start spending our resources a little bit better. Start thinking about, you know, we're going to be running out of fish here soon. We still have quite a few up here, actually. But once these are gone, you know, we've got green up here denying these fish. So actually, that's another reason why we're going to be pushing green is we want to secure, you know, these towers here are blocking our economy from progressing further. We want to clear them out of here. The timer's definitely getting down. I'm not sure. We can't check that, unfortunately. I don't believe. But we can, we do know that it's down for a few minutes by now. I'm building some forward production buildings in order to, you know, reinforce my army here. Some more horses and some more barracks. We're going to start adding in samurais, which are a great unit for Japanese. They have a good, pretty good defensive. As you can see, they're heavy armor. They have a periodic ability to activate deflective armor, which blocks attacks, but they're pretty slow. But they are tanky, so that's what's great about them. I don't know about why. I guess he was trying to do a wall maybe with that. But you can see the Elsbeck is down now, but we are able to stand on the sacred site without any resistance there. And unfortunately, I don't think this is quite. If I was alone here working on green, I might be fine with this. But we're about to see yellow, I think, come down here, and when I see that, I kind of want to back off here. I don't want to fight. I don't want to lose what's left of my army. I know I can't break the Elsbeck. Well, with yellow's help, I can, but I think yellow's probably going to be fighting me for that king. So we're going to be backing off here. And if yellow wants to fight and try to take down Elsbeck by himself, we can let him do that because this already has the upgrade, the fire armor upgrade. It's getting boiling oil soon, and we don't want to, you know, be taking that kind of a trade just yet. even though there's obviously a very lucrative king in there to take. We're happy to have green as a buffer, even though, because we've taken the sacred site back. We're happy to leave green alive as a buffer from yellow, because we know yellow obviously has been sitting back this game. He's got a pretty big army, and we don't really want to fight him just yet, right? Now, I think we're pushing on towards Imperial, right? We built a wall here on this little choke point on the water, and let's see. So we see green taking some remote town centers here. Obviously, he didn't go with Swabia, so he needs to build town centers to supplement his economy. But this is an easy point of attack for us. We can take this. We really need gold. So once we clear this one out, we're going to want to probably take this. So we move up here. And we're going to wipe green off of this this area. This cat. Come on, cat. Stay in or go out. Your choice. Okay, sorry guys. So our boats are getting stuck here. It looks like we're getting the fishing bug, or at least we're getting some kind of problem here with too many boats stacked in one spot maybe. We're gonna start thinking about transitioning. You can see I've already started the transition. I know that this, this river's not gonna last forever. We still have actually quite a bit of fish down here. The problem, well, orange is out of here now, so we can take all these fishing nodes, which is great. But we've already moved most of our fishing boats up this direction. Now, we have secured one relic, but there are we know that green has a lot up here. It looks like I think we hear the cannons firing. Is that what? Trebuchets, I guess. So yellow's definitely, like I mentioned, he's a buffer for green, which is great. He's gonna have to fight into an Elsback. And he's definitely going to lose the fight eventually, right? But I think we're going to spot that soon with either the sound or like the fish. Maybe we do a king check here. We're going to realize that, yeah, there's the king check, and I realize there's some, maybe I don't realize it yet. Okay. So we've gone into our H4 landmark. So let's talk about this. The Taganish Yuma Gunsmith. Tech trees here. So there's two options for Japanese, obviously, but this is the one you want like 90% of the time, right? This is a very, very, very good landmark. The stockpiles, you can hold on to them, and they can become very powerful when you just spam them all at once. When you need some, siege or some Azutsu or whatever, or you can just grab a few, whenever you can. But you can also use it just production building to build the Azutsu. Access to a new unit, and the Ribalquin as well. So two very, very, very strong units that you have both not just access to, but occasional access for free, or all at once, right? So it's a very, 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 probably one of the strongest landmarks in the game. Sorry guys. So I definitely recommend going for this this landmark if you can. There may be an occasion where you need to build a defensive landmark if you're under a siege, if you're under attack, and you desperately need to survive. This can be an option, but you should already have your town center upgraded to Shogunate Castle for defensive options, right? That should be your priority defensively. So you shouldn't ever need this, really. I can't think of a situation that comes to mind very often where you're going to want this. I guess if there's I've tried testing how the other effect works with the treasure caravans. I'm not really sure, but you get some resources if there's a neutral trade post. There's not usually a neutral trade post on FFAs, and even if there is, you're not probably not going to have access to it, or it's not going to be an option. You could try it. I haven't experimented enough with it. That needs more testing for sure. But the problem is, like, if you take this, you're gonna lose out on this, right? And this is just so good. You gotta get this, guys. Always get this, please, if you can. Anyways, that's all I have to say about it. Get the gunsmith. You can use whatever unit you want out of the gunsmith. A mix of them, whatever you want. They're all good units. They're great units, but definitely get this one, right? Typically, you're using it for cannons, for Azutsu, to siege down enemy walls, enemy keeps, enemy buildings, stuff like that. Landmarks. That's what it's good for. So there you go. So now we're gonna, pretty soon here, we're scouting with our scout here, where we see landmark destroyed, but I think we're a little late to this party, and it looks like yellow is going to, you know, take out this king. There's not much we can do about it now. It's a little too late. So now yellow's not, now there's no buffer between us and yellow, right? We know that purple and blue are obviously fighting because there hasn't been any action over here yet. So we're going to be focusing up on yellow now. And we're a little worried because he's a OOTD, obviously very strong civ. He's, you know, these units are stronger than they look. But we are Japanese, like I mentioned. We're pretty strong as well. We've got some elite spearmen here. So we're going to be doing okay in trading up against yellow. It looks like I wasn't sure how this fight was going to go at first. But it looks like at the end of the day, we traded out pretty evenly and slightly in our favor, at least. And our opponent yellow, let's take a look at his resources. He's got some good resources too, and he has an L's back. So that means he didn't go Swabia, so his economy is not as good as it could have been, or wasn't as fast as it could have been. And he got Regnitz, but I don't see a lot of relics around, right? In fact, I don't see, maybe I don't see any relics for yellow, so that's going to be a huge advantage for us here. If we can secure the middle here, we can take Teal's, we can fight over Teal's relics is what we're going to be end up doing here. We've been sending some attack boats here. I think he's got some trebs though, which are going to be really annoying for me. So we want to clean this up, right? We don't want to let him get these relics. That's going to be key here in securing our fight against yellow, is denying the relics. So they're both 250, right? So if I let him take these relics, he's obviously going to beat me. If I take them instead, then things can go the other way. And it looks like yellow unfortunately has built a keep and denied us this gold over here. So we're going to be short on gold for now. But it looks like we are, well, I'd say we're winning, but we're trading evenly with yellow again. It's kind of going back and forth here. We're spending all of our money trying to get our military up here. The spearmen are paying off though. They are working out pretty well against his knights. So we're finally cleaning up yellow, and we're going to now deny him access to these relics, which is essential. Probably more so than me taking them is just not letting him have them, right? But it's both, right? Both are good. So we're going to go ahead and torch down these outposts with the relics and try to pick them up ourselves. We're already starting to do that. We've sent our Shinto priests up here. We have like at least 4 of those, right? They're already, you know, spawning and they're already out. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So we put our Shinto priests on. We did use torch, even though I mentioned like it's reduced effect here. I think I put some on a lumber mill as well, maybe. Yeah, because it's just more effective now to get the more efficient rather to use them on like a lumber mill, because you're getting more resources. But really, like, we're gonna be short on gold, right? That's the main resource that we're gonna be running out of eventually. So we also kind of want them in gold, so I did a little bit of both here. Now we're starting to push over here to this keep. We don't want to let yellow just have this, you know, have this gold for free. We do realize there's quite a bit of units here. He does have the burning oil, looks like, so kind of annoying to deal with. We're just gonna wipe, at least deny his economy for a little bit here. These units should be focusing the keep, of course, but either way, they need to back off. There's not enough units here. We do have some cannons moving up, but we need some more support. We need some more units to tank for these cannons before we push in with them. So we're going to rebuild our army here and try to retake it. We forgot one of the relics here, but hopefully we'll remember that soon. We've actually got 3 now in our Shinto shrine. And what happened here? I got a kill. Oh, I found this king over here. So there's this king we mentioned that left the game. No one actually found this king over here. So I just picked up a free kill right here in the middle. Purple was about to get it too, probably. So that's crazy timing, but just happened to be that way. So now we're at 300 supply. And that on top of killing, taking these relics here away from yellow, getting the 300 pop, that puts us in a completely amazing position to fight yellow. It's not going to be hard. We're going to be doing pretty well. We have a nice mix of horsemen, of of archers and of he was a spearman. Well, our spearman numbers are actually quite low right now, strangely enough. We probably want to add some more of those against his knights. But you can see we just denied him his last source of gold. He has 0 relics, so yellow is gonna, well, I guess he has like, some gold down here we could deny. But I think, yeah, we're sending our horsemen over there. They're faster, they'll get there soon. And we're gonna re-rally the rest of our army in the middle in order to get ready to push yellow, assuming blue doesn't, blue and purple are still fighting and they're not gonna be threatening us anytime soon. Now we have made a boat here. Blue has been taunting us with his king for whatever reason. He kept sending it up here and back, so I kept trying to take it, but he wouldn't let me have it. We have a weird problem with our gate here. We can't actually send units through. I think I actually somehow built a wall the wrong direction in the middle of the gate somehow. I'm not sure how that worked, but I think we have to delete that later and to even send units through. Very strange issues we're having this game, but sometimes that's just how it plays out. Now we've got, as I mentioned before, we've got units from the Age 4 landmark, from the gunsmith. We've got a couple of Rebolquins here. We've got a few cannons. These all came for free. It's great. There's supporting our main army without having to invest any of our actual important resources into those. We're finishing up our siege upgrades. You know, we're nearing our pop cap. We probably want to keep our economy going. I think I added on a 3rd town center here to keep that going, but I keep forgetting to press my villager. There we go. So we're going to be definitely increasing our villager count. Now, purple is destroying teal's landmarks, so we're on kind of a timer here to kill yellow. So before we'll have to deal with purple, so we want to make sure we get this done with quick. Looks like, let's take a look at blue's position here. Where's his king at? I don't know. He's been hiding. Oh, here it is. Okay, it's on the water. I think I checked this at one point and I saw he's on water and I tried to send like boats around, but it's actually a different water source, so that's not going to work. But you can just see we're just running over yellow here. He doesn't have much gold in the bank. He does have this Elsback, but we have easily enough to defeat it here. We have our hand cannoneers, we've got, you know, our archers, everything upgraded fully. So this is going to be an easy take, no problem. I think yellow's going to either give up or something. Yep, there he goes. So he gave up. Fortunately, didn't feed the king. We couldn't really have stopped him because he had the water here. We could have maybe tried to send some units over here. I guess sending a few cavalry would have been a good idea. The problem is we'd have to use like a transfer boat or something because there's a wall here. But fortunately, he just left the game and we got our pop. So now we're 350. These players have been fighting each other. It's pretty much easy cleanup from here. Purple has killed. He has killed blue, and I think he got the king as well. So we'll take a look at his population. He's still only 200. It says here, but I think he's about to be 250 if he just hasn't built the extra farms yet. So since I have such a huge advantage over purple, obviously this is a pretty easy situation. Yeah, we're stuck completely. As I mentioned before, I didn't realize there's this friggin' wall in between my gatehouse somehow. And purple is focusing on middle. He sent some of Jutsu. He's also Japanese. So Japanese versus Japanese showdown. I'm taking sacred just, you know, cause obviously there's only one and I don't want him to have it. So we'll build some keeps in the middle with our stone. We're gonna start we broke down our wall here. We just destroyed the whole thing, it looks like. And we're sending our army across. We wanna pull purple on multiple fronts, right? We wanna push him towards the sacred site. We wanna threaten his main. The problem here is that he's now sent some units to also flank around, and because I had to delete my own wall here, unfortunately we're now wide open to attack. But fortunately this army just, you know, it's not that strong. So I think at first I'm sending my army back, but then I realized that I can deal with this, right? This is not going to be an issue with everything I have here, even despite not having a wall. I'm making some explosive junks. We're going to start trying to blow stuff up. It's going to be fine. We'll see how that goes. Oh, ready for the explosion, guys? I am. It's going to be fun. Oh, ho, ho. So there goes a big chunk of his army. We got more explosives coming in hot. And we're sending our army across. We're not even worried. We're even gonna pull some, I think some priests down here, do Wolas if necessary. You know, we can just deny him through here. Even though we didn't have a wall, it didn't matter. Everything's gonna be fine. We're reinforcing with our spearmen. Blowing up more units here in the middle. And all he's got is a few Adzutsu in the end. He doesn't have much. Even this Awolo was not necessary, right? We had plenty here. And it's an easy cleanup on the defense. And now on the offense, we found a small hole in this wall, I guess. We didn't notice because we just moved, I think moved commanded onto this town center. But yeah, we could have blown a hole there to make that transition a little easier, but that's okay. Basically, the reason we're just move commanding here is we want to, we don't want to alert purple. He probably knows from the vision of this town center, but if he hasn't been paying attention, it's nice not to alert your opponent with any attack notifications when you're trying to do a king snipe or just get in position like this. So here we go. Obviously our army is huge. It's not maxed yet, but you know, we've got our economy didn't really keep up this game. We could have done better, a lot better with that, making more villagers, pressing that villager button down. Now we're just attacking in here. We can easily fight his army and try to snipe his king at the same time. No problem. His king comes out and he just feeds it to us, I think. Or he made a mistake and misclicked it. Either way. That's it, guys. Hope you enjoyed this how to play. Japanese has some strong units. Mounted samurai, very strong. The gunsmith units, very strong. Defensively, you've got your shogunate castle upgrade on your town center, which is great for both economy and defensively. You can get a cannon, a huge cannon emplacement there. And you don't even necessarily need to be in Imperial Age to have the shogunate castle. So you can play very defensively. People can't push you without trebs or cannons in that case, for the most part. So yeah, great civ in FFA. I recommend it. If you guys have any questions, please ask them in the comments below. And we'll catch you in the next one. Peace.